Welcome to the big Munich Brezel test today to find out which one is the best pretzel. But before we do that, a little history about the pretzel.
The pretzel is one of the most iconic foods in Germany and Bavaria and is one of the oldest baked goods in Europe. It was probably baked in monasteries in the Alpine region as early as the 7th century. The shape may go back to religious symbolism. The folded arms of the pretzel represent a person praying. Another theory is that the three holes in the pretzels through which the sun can shine are a parable of the Trinity. But it can also be quite profane. The shape of the pretzel makes it easy to hang up and transport. But nothing is for sure, and there are many legends about the pretzel. As you can see from the historical pictures, the pretzel is not as brown as we know it today. It was either a normal bread or a sweet pastry. The pretzel as we know it today has only been around since the 19th century. Legend has it that the Munich baker Anton Pfaffenbrenner accidentally dipped the pretzel in a cleaning bucket of caustic soda instead of sugar water. The caustic lye then turned into the brown, edible crust in the oven that we love so much about pretzels today. In Bavaria, the word pretzel is an umbrella term for all lye pastries. There are pretzel sticks, pretzel plates and pretzel rolls.
We have now pretzels of 8 bakeries here in Munich. Those are mainly the largest bakeries we find here. If you know any bakery here in Munich where you have your favorite pretzel, leave it in the comment. I'm curious which one that is. And I had some condiments. So typical Munich pretzel you always eat with butter, or here Obatzda, which is a delicious cheese bread. But for the test I will just rip apart from the pretzel to try which one is the best. So I guess I just start in that direction, and let's see. So this is like the first one. So it's a little cross. By the way, all the pretzels are bought like this afternoon, and now we tried this afternoon, so they're not all oven fresh or something. So let's see. So well, a little dry. Let's try one of the arms. That's all. That's a good, decent pretzel. A little dry, but that's normal. After some hours, so I would give it like from 0 to 10. I would give it. I think it's a good 7. This one.
That was a pretzel from Rischart. Rischart can be found almost everywhere in Munich, and I really love their sweet pastries and cakes. I've also had super good pretzels from there. Maybe the baker had a bad day or the pretzel was on display for too long.
That's a good 7. So the next one. So not as crunchy. I have the impression a little denser than the other one. A little drier as well. I need water. Maybe, so this is a little bit dry, so I prefer that one over that one. Maybe that's from the, I don't know, from the discount bakery. I would give it a 5.5 out of 10. And I'll have to swallow because it was so dry.
Oh, was I wrong here. That was the pretzel from the organic supermarket. Just goes to show that organic is not necessarily better.
So, next one. By the way, totally acceptable to remove a little bit the salt, because I'm not the biggest salt fan of the pretzels, on the pretzels. So this, here the crust is again a little bit more crunchy. Also fluffier. This is a good one. It's still still fresh. It's crunchy on the outside. While the arms are dry, super dry. Some people like it like that. But the ballet is good. The ballet is very good. So that was a 7, I guess. So this is, yeah, I give it an 8. I'd be generous. I give that an 8. Maybe 7.5 no 8. Okay.
The Hofpfisterei is the former purveyor to the Bavarian court. Incidentally, they also bake exclusively organic, but the loaves of bread are particularly good. I especially love the walnut bread.
So, the next pretzel looks a little bit, I don't know, sad. Let's try. Yep. But it's fluffy and crunchy from the feeling. It has a little, I mean, it's not bad, but it has a little, I don't know, aftertaste. Like, I don't know. I cannot put my finger on it, what it is. Maybe it's baked next to another baked item. That's why. So I would say this one is a 7.5. I prefer this one a little bit more than that one, but it's not bad.
The pretzel came from Brotmanufaktur Schmidt. They have my favorite Christmas pastry stand at the Munich Christmas market. Check out my video for that. I was able to classify the aftertaste better later. There was a taste of slightly toasted pizza dough, so actually quite a good taste.
So this one here, I mean, perfect form and crunchy. I have a suspicion what that is. This might be Rischart, and I say from the big bakeries there, those are the big pretzels. Let's see if I'm right. If I'm wrong, but it's really like it's really crunchy. From the outside is crunchy, just from the feeling. The inside is super soft. Oh. This is a good pretzel. This is really a good pretzel. Let's try one of the arms. The arms are also soft. As you can see, I removed the salt. I don't like the salt too much. Good. So, 9, 10. Oh, 10 is maybe too much. 10 is too much. But 9. This is like the forum at the moment.
That was the Höflinger bakery, which has over 100 branches in Munich and has been around for almost 100 years.
Next one. Also looks quite nice. I think it feels very light. It's crunchy. It's also a good feeling with that one. Just from the feel. It's airy, it's soft, it's crunchy. Not bad. Not that, but I think that is a little bit, I prefer that a little bit over that one. But I would be very happy with that one. So I say this one I give 8.5.
This was a discount bakery and I was really surprised. There really are countless of these bakeries, most of which only bake chilled goods. But what can I lie? If the pretzel was good, it was good.
The next one. Wow. A little bit from the former. Here's the belly, not here, so I give a little minus for the belly, but that's not really. But let's see that one. So I think not quite as fluffy as those two, but still nice. Yeah, not bad. But I think that was those two were a little bit fluffier than that one. But I like that very much, that one. So I give it an 8.
The Wimmer bakery has also been around for almost 100 years and can be found almost everywhere in Munich with 50 branches.
And so the last one is the last one. Looks a little bit wild. It's again, just feel it from the touch, is denser than those three. Oh, maybe not that dense. Maybe it was just a crust. Well, let's try. One. No, those are the top runners, those three. A little. Yeah, I don't like it too much. This one. I don't know, it has a little flowery. A little bit too dense. A little bit too flowery. Let's try one of the arms. So those were 8, 8.5, 9, 7. That was a 6, I guess. Yeah, this is a 6.5, I would say.
The last pretzel was brought to me by my anonymous assistant behind the camera from the Neulinger bakery. That's why I don't have any pictures of the store. The Neulinger bakery is also an exclusively organic bakery. And this is the final result. Don't take the test too seriously, it was all just for fun. Of course, it was all subjective on a Saturday afternoon. You get the best pretzels in the morning anyway, when they are freshly baked and preferably still warm.
So okay, so let's see who the top runner is. If I'm right, it is Höflinger. Oh, I'm surprised, Höflinger. So Höflinger on first place. I mean, this is truly... The discount is on place number 2. Not bad for the discount, I really must say. And Wimmer on place number 3.
And if I'm supposed to guide you to the best pretzels in Munich, then I'm not much smarter now than I was before. But I'm happy to show you the city in a guided tour and other nice things. So here's my homepage and my email address for that.
Write me in the comments which bakery you prefer, and well, actually, I mean, yes, to make a assumption, like they are all eatable. They are all eatable. They are all good. But Höflinger, I like Höflinger the most. Okay, see you in the next video.